Now you remember last time I was with you and I was showing you these roof trusses. Remember the rest of them beyond this point, there was no roof trusses installed yet. Well, now they're installed. Voila, look at this. They got lots of this stuff up, and this house is so cut up that they really had their work cut out for them when they installed all these trusses, because once the trusses come out here on the job site, you can't really start modifying these trusses to fit if you didn't build everything right, okay? So you really got to look at everything properly, because you know, this is not a house where you've got just two different sizes of trusses and you put them all one way and a little bit on another way. They had all kinds of stuff in here. Now see these trusses here. See these little ones? This is just a small little truss from here to there. That's it. Have you ever seen little trusses that small? Well, they did that because this is the master bedroom, and they had to design. They had their work cut out for them. I told you to design all this, and they had to decide how are they going to have the ceilings and all that kind of stuff. Because see, you can see where the truss is over here. It goes there, and then it pops up, comes across, pops back down. See here, pops down, back down, goes across again, and then even on these trusses, because they were so long, let's just follow this, okay? It goes across, and it looks like it stops on this wall here, okay? But look how high up it goes, and then they go across, and then they went flat. They went flat across there. Can you see that? It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to show you. But it goes up at an angle, and then way up high there, it goes flat all the way across, and then that truss from that point goes all the way down. It goes outside. See, here's the exterior door, and remember they didn't have these trusses. Remember they were just flopped out here, and those trusses extend, boom, all the way down there as if that was a wall. But you see, remember where they did these posts out here? They put these big glue lamb beams in here. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? You got this nice glue lamb beam with the nice little brackets here in the corners, and I like that. I like those nice brackets. You see there, and then they got a nice little glue lamb beam going across there, and I'm not quite sure how they've got that one set. It's probably tied in inside the wall before they installed that plywood. I can't really tell how that goes now, but we know it goes into the wall, and it sets in there, and it probably has a strap in there and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, that truss, because it's so long, for some reason they had to design it in such a fashion to where it didn't go all the way up to a point. See how it goes all the way up to a point and then comes back down? Well, that little section at the top, at that flat bit, it still goes up to the point by about 2.5 feet, and then it comes down just to there, and it comes down just to over there. And that's a small little truss set on top of this other flat truss, and I guess they had to do that somehow to get this to support properly, because that top part of the truss is a 2x6 truss, and it goes along there, and it's just the way that they've got to design. I've never seen anything like that. It's quite fascinating to me. But anyways, back down in here, you see how the ceiling all the way around the edge is going to be flat. 2 feet out, 1.5 feet out. That's going to be flat. Then it's going to bump up. Then it's going to go up higher by close to a foot. Just to probably, my guess is probably to here, okay? And I don't know exactly what's happening here. I don't know if they are still going to build a closet here, or what the deal is. How the ceiling is going to go here. Is that ceiling just going to go straight across? I'm not quite sure, and I don't think it's going to, because it bumps up here, but the next truss does not bump up, does it? You see there? And this one doesn't bump up. So somehow it'll be kind of I'm having a thought where this upper ceiling is going to stop right here or just beyond there, and then the whole section is going to be up higher there, and they'll probably have a nice ceiling fan in here, some can lights along the sides, and like I say, this is going to be the master bedroom. Okay, as you walk through here, there'll probably be a set of double doors here. You walk through there, and this will be their nice their bedroom. Okay, and then you're going to walk through here, and this is going to be a nice bathroom area. There's going to be a cabinet over here. There's going to be a tub right there. There's going to be a cabinet over there, and there's going to be a shower in this corner. Okay, and it's funny. You got the tub. You got the tub right here, and you got this nice window here. And they're probably going to have shades on there every time they want to use the tub. You know, twist that. But maybe after that, it gets a nice view of the mountain over here. Okay, so when they're not taking a bath, and the tub obviously is not going to be any higher than this window, it's going to be a little bit lower than that. Then maybe they'll open the blinds or something so they can see that nice view. You know, isn't that nice? And then see, this is going to be a nice big closet, and then they're going to have a nice big closet over here. Good Lord! And then they'll have the toilet is over here. Okay, but anyways, isn't that amazing? All of the different angles of this roof and how these trusses just go to there, because see, they couldn't go any further. Plus they had a different type of roof system over here. They had to have those stop there, and then these trusses go from left to right, boom, 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 this way, and they're way up there, and they go way over that way. And so, like I said, they really had to figure out this proper design, and those trusses only go to here, and then they put small little funky trusses. See, this is just a small little truss again. These right here, boom, 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 like a little triangle, and that's all like trusses. And then they have trusses left to right here going that way, and then these little ones here, this was just a small little truss, boom, boom, that's it going on down. Isn't that weird? And so you really got to put your thinking cap on, whoever was building this roof really has his work cut out for him. And I'm not quite sure how the rest of this roof is going to look here, because as we know, this glue lamp beam extends out further than that last truss, right? I don't see any more new trusses out here, but we also see that there's some more piers here. See, here's two piers here, and there's a pier over there, right? So I know there's going to be a big old two posts, like these posts, 6x6 posts, and then there'll be another glue lamp beam here, and then I'm not sure what's going to be here, how this is going to work, if it's going to stop here, if there's going to be another glue lamp beam that cuts from here over to the house, you know, kind of like this one, or not. And we'll just have to keep watching these guys, how they're framing everything. Let's see. This is what this is going to look like over in here. And that I thought that kind of odd too. This overhang where the barge rafter is, it's only coming out about a foot, maybe 14 inches or so. And lots of times, whenever we built years ago, we'd always make that, I don't know, close to 2 feet. And mainly for water and stuff like that. When it's raining, you like to have it protect that. But for some reason, they decided they're just going to make this a small overhang, and that's good. Okay. Now see how they had this. This is the fascia board, and those are barge rafters, the exposed ones, and that's all made out of alder, and that's nice material. And see where it comes down over here to the roof. They had to figure out how much gap to have there between that and the roof, and that's when it comes time to finding out, hey, what type of what type of shingles are they going to install? Are they going to install asphalt shingles? Are they going to install concrete tiles or clay tiles that go like this? Well, I know they're not going to have clay tiles like that because that's not enough room. And concrete tiles, that gap is not big enough. So my guess is they're going to put asphalt shingles up here on this entire roof. That's my guess. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see later on down the road, won't we? Okay. I saw some starter shingles in the garage that were asphalt, but I don't know if that really means that they're going to be installing new asphalt shingles everywhere. And this is how your overhang area is going to look. Okay. And they put all these blocks in there, and then they got the holes, 3 holes drilled, and then they put little wire on the back side of there. Those are called bird stops, and that gives your venting for your roof. You don't necessarily have to do that on every single block, depending how your ceiling is inside. And they could have done away with that and put a vent all the way across there. You know, with the screen, and we've done it both ways, but they did it this way. I think it looks better, and they've done that. And as we have seen before, there's the drain for the sewer drain. They haven't connected it yet, have they? And I still am scratching my head to see exactly where that's going to be hooked to, and my guess is it's going to be hooked out over in there somewhere. Okay. And let's see what else they've done here on the walls. They've finished all the plywood on here. It looks like they've also installed flashing. This is see here that this is what they've used, moist top flashing, and that's for the windows. And see how they install that? They actually take the bottom piece, and they take it and they flop it up, and they notch it, and they put it up like that. And then the side ones go over that. In case you ever get a leak, your water is here. It's going to go over the top of this one. So see how they've done that? The bottom one was installed first, and then they ran the 2 side ones. And they've not done anything on the top. Maybe they wait until after they install the window, and then they'll take the top piece and put it over the top flange of the window. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that, because lots of guys, they'll install. I've seen them install window flashing all kinds of different ways. I've seen them put all the Tyvek paper on all this and wrap the whole thing first, and then I've seen them put the windows in over the top of that, and then I've seen them use other types of stuff that's got sticky on one side, and then they just wrap the window around there. And I'm like, how come they're not overlapping it like this? Because this is kind of how we used to do it years ago, and they've done that for their windows. And I see that they've done things here, and they've got some spray paint around there, and so probably the bottom portion of all this is going to be one certain thing, and then they may have stucco from there up, and this might be brick from there down. Who knows? We'll just, like I say, we'll just have to keep watching, you know, what happens here. Okay? And see, they're not done. The framers are not done. They're not ready for framing inspection yet. They still have to tie in the roof up at the top over into here. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do that. Maybe that's the end, but you know, they've got to do something for the water drain off. So maybe they're going to build another roof on top of this. I'm not quite sure. And we'll just have to, like I say, we'll just have to see. Okay. But they still have other things to do where this barge rafter come down here, it sticks down lower than your fascia board over here. So they'll probably cut that square, you know, flat at the bottom of that, and they'll do that with a skill saw, you know, later on. And I found it. They did this slightly different than I've seen them. They've got a 2x4. They've nailed a 2x4 on the outside of the actual wall. See there? They ran that 2x4 up there, and then they've run some blocks in there, and that's kind of nice because that keeps your fascia board from twisting and stuff. Lots of times, years ago, they used to just run the 2x4s flat, which they did before. You saw before, if you watched the other one, there's a flat 2x4 up there, and it's notched in the rafter, and then it goes back to the next rafter. Okay, and then it's nailed up in there. It's hard to see. And then they would just nail the barge rafter just to that, but then it wouldn't give it any stability at the bottom, so it could still twist and zigzag around. It wasn't very strong. So I guess this is how they do it nowadays. They took that 2x6, they ran it up there, and that kind of holds that better. I kind of like that. I'm not quite sure how they're going to finish that off just yet, but they have their plan. They know what they're doing. Okay. You see how this barge rafter end, they've cut off flat right there, see, at the bottom, and then they've cut that at a 45 right there, and that ties in nicely with the fascia board. See how the fascia board comes around here? It kind of looks, you know, nobody's ever going to notice that, but as you look at it here, it just comes out straight across and up at an angle. And because that other roof is so close, you got the same thing with that fascia board coming down to there. It's almost like couldn't they have figured out how tall that was and make their fascia boards the same thickness, the same height as their fascia board. The fascia board and the other rafter coming up this way, okay? But for some reason they didn't. I'm not quite sure why, and so that's how they finished that off. So it all is looking really good. And man, this house, it just seems like it goes on forever. But remember, this first section from there to there is all garage. It's a 3-car garage plus a fourth one, which is a huge garage. That's for a big old huge motorhome. Okay, and then they've got a garage door on this side, a garage door on that side. So man, they could have a party in there. They could have a racetrack in there. Okay, barge rafters. These two are barge rafters, and then tied into fascia boards. Okay, barge rafter, fascia boards, fascia board, fascia boards, fascia boards, barge rafter, barge rafter. Okay, and I can see the gap between the fascia board and this over here. That's only enough room for asphalt shingles, I believe. Okay, well, see, it looks like they've got everything kind of ready for the windows, and I don't know if they're going to put the windows in first before the Tyvek building wrap paper, because I'm sure they're going to put building wrap paper on this whole thing. Okay, do you put that on first before you do the windows, or do you do the windows first before you do that? I've seen it done both ways, and I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way. Okay, if you want to know, you're just going to have to ask. If you ask 5 different people, you're going to get 2 answers one way and 3 answers another way. So I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but you better do it the best way that you can, because let me tell you, if you do it wrong, you could have leaks later on down the road. So this is where the knowledge hits the road. You can't just start second guessing on, okay, when do I put this paper on? And after I install the doors, after I install the sliding glass doors, do I have to put another layer of paper on there? Do I have to put the Tyvek paper over that? Do I put the Tyvek paper on now and then put that other sticky paper all the way around the trim later on down the road, and a double layer of that, or what? You know, you want to be safe rather than sorry, I'll tell you, because you don't want to build and have your whole house done and then find out 3 years from now that you've got some water leaks, you know, coming around your windows. That's not going to be something you want to mess with at that point. Okay, so isn't that nice how those trusses went all the way from about that wall up at an angle, flat, coming back down, and then the point of the trusses, and then extended all the way over here. Man, they really had to measure this out, right? Because like I say, it all has to line up. You can't just start trimming trusses. Now, if once you get all your trusses in there and all that kind of stuff, if you have to trim off the very end slightly, a 1/16 here, an 1/8 inch there, and line these up, you can do that. But you can't start modifying anything on these trusses and cut a section out, move it over, and all that kind of stuff. These are all engineered, designed, and they're having to be built at a factory, a truss factory, and they have all kinds of measurements and all kinds of hypotheses and deductions on them and computations and all kinds of stuff. A whole book comes with all of the trusses, gets attached to a set of plans, and all that stuff has to be figured out at the building department. Their engineers have to look at the engineers who engineered all of your trusses, okay? And if there's any questions, then your engineer who's designed the trusses, they're going to have to maybe do some modifications or do something. But usually it works out pretty good. Most truss companies know what to do, know how to take the calculations, know how to build the truss. Because see, on these trusses, there's a 2x4 at the bottom. This is a 2x4. That angle is a 2x4. The next one's a 2x4, but the top is a 2x6. Now I've seen a lot of trusses where the top is a 2x4. Okay, so what's the difference? And I'm telling you, there is a difference on all the different ways that they design things, all the different loads, because as I showed you before, here's 3 trusses, here's 3 trusses, boom, 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 and that's used as a beam, that's used as a support beam, and those 3 trusses are a different truss up here. They're just straight. And then this truss, these trusses from here going all the way over that way, they're tied on there, aren't they? And so you've got these 3 trusses are load bearing. They're holding all the weight of the ends of these trusses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, at least 7 trusses are being held by those 3 trusses there. Okay, they had to figure out, do we have enough load for just 2 trusses there, 3 trusses? Do we have to put 4 trusses there? What's the deal there? What type are those? And then that holds the weight. However long this truss is, depending where they took their load from, half of the weight is designed to hold off of here. Half of the weight is designed to hold off either that 2x4 wall or this beam or this wall or that wall. However they took their calculations, okay? And then see the other section of trusses, these trusses stop, boom, and they just stop here. These were the ones that went up at an angle and then straight. They're just like the ones way over there. They're straight along there, and then that top section is a separate truss. Boom, boom, boom. Just a little triangle piece. Those are separate trusses that's set on top of there. Isn't that something? And they had to design that exactly right in order to get the spans. I guess they couldn't have had a truss that went up all the way to the peak and all the way down to the peak. Maybe they couldn't get their calculations figured out, and so they thought, nope, we're going to do it a different way. So see, they've got 2x6s going across, and then they have a 2x4 on the top truss going up, and now you've got all that thickness, and that's helping hold all the weight and the load and all that kind of stuff. So back to here, you got three trusses going across here, and then these trusses on this side are smaller, and so see, they run on this side. Kaboom, 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 kaboom. And you've got the load of this truss from that point to that point, half of that load. If you divide this room into half, split it in half of that load is directed over here off of this truss. Half of the load of this roof and the drywall and the ceiling is directed onto this wall here. And they have to design the trusses accordingly, okay? Yeah, all that to explain to you how all these trusses work. So you can't just start pulling trusses apart, cutting them, and thinking you can modify them and do whatever. Oh yeah, that'll be fine. No, it's not fine. And guess what? If these were concrete tiles or clay tiles on the roof, would these types of trusses span and hold all that? I have no idea. Maybe they couldn't come up with a truss this size. Maybe they would have to extend it up to a bigger truss. Maybe it was going to be really expensive to do that in order for them to hold and hold a concrete tile roof or a clay tile roof as opposed to an asphalt shingle tile roof. You see what I'm saying? Because I would think the concrete tiles and the clay tiles are way heavier than the asphalt shingles. So all of that stuff has to go into your design aspects. What type of roof do you want? Once you decide how you want your roof to look on the outside, will then determine and help your architect figure out how to design the load-bearing walls and all of your trusses and all of that, okay? Yes, this is a bigger house than normal because it's not a two-story house, it's only a one-story house. And that's why the floor is extends over so far. And that's why I was thinking, my word, before this was all built, the trusses, I was thinking, they're gonna have their hands full on how all these trusses work. And sure enough, these trusses are monsters, huge, I'm telling you. And a lot of thought process had to go through designing this whole roof, and kudos to them for making it all work out. All right, well, that's all I got for this time. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. Yes, it's getting dark. It's getting dark. It's time for me to go. There's no more that I'm going to show you today.